Hey, what's up, dudes? My name is Peroz. My camera is still laggy, and today we'll be doing sound effects for your Call of Duty clips and editing and montages and shit. So we'll jump straight into it. I'll go down to be the bottom side guy down here. So yeah, sound effects. I don't know too much about sound effects, but I'll try to teach you what I know. I'm pretty basic with sound effects. I just a little bit of bolts here, a little bit of whooshes here, a little bit of this and that here and there. Nothing too crazy. So we'll get into it. Let me delete all this work that I've done here. Just get rid of all of those. We'll get rid of the high-low pass off of this boy here, and we will delete these keyframes. All right, so we've got a song, we've got a clips. Let's listen to the song real quick so you guys can get like a little bit of a feel for it. Yeah, not bad. Pretty good song. Song will be in the description if you guys want to have a listen. Maybe you can edit to it as well. All right, so got a bunch of sound effects here. First off, join the Discord. Please join the Discord. Come catch up with me. Come talk to me. I'm in there somewhat often. And also there is a bunch of downloads for editing assets and things, including all the sound effects you'll see here today. So yeah, go and do that. So yeah, we got the intervention here. So we'll drag in the old intervention shot on my red markers, which are the shots, and the yellows are like usually transitions and whatnot. And I always put the audio at the bottom. Lots of people put the audio at the top. You know, whatever you like doing, it's cool. I ain't judging. Maybe I'm judging a little bit, you know. Yeah, so drag on our shot here, the intervention shot, just onto the marker. We'll have a listen. It's a pretty solid intervention shot. So with the audio levers here, you could turn it up or down, depending on, you know, how loud you want things to be. I usually try to, you know, make the shots like a little bit quiet, nothing too crazy. You don't want them to be like in your face, like too loud. So around like, yeah, like this volume is actually pretty good. So we'll keep the first shot normal, and we'll jump onto the second shot here. I'm assuming most of you guys have put shots on markers before. So we'll just line it up. So somewhere around there should be right. And to get this to sound like just a little bit different, we'll just right click and we'll go enable time remapping. And you'll get these two little markers here, and you just drag this one out a little bit, and that like slows down the sound effects. So we have a listen. So you can see that sound a little bit different. And usually when you time remap these, they do get a little bit quieter. So you turn it up by like 1 or 2, just to sort of match the other sound of the other gunshots. So that sounds pretty good to me. We'll just duplicate this bottom one here. So we'll make 2 normal ones, duplicate again. And then on this third one, we'll duplicate again. But because this is the last shot, we want to stretch it out a little bit. Make it sound good, make it look good. So we'll go time, enable time remapping, and we'll stretch it out like quite a bit. We'll just stretch out my timeline a little bit, stretch this out a bit more. And we'll have a listen just to these 3 shots. And this shot is like off by a little bit, so I'm just going to drag it there. So we'll turn this up a little bit. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. Something small that I do, depending on like what kind of gunshot sound it is, I will drag on bass and treble. And you can experiment with this like quite a bit. I know some people drag on multiple instances of this to get like the sound they want. But I'm just going to change the treble to like 75. And usually when you do that, it makes the gunshot louder when you turn either of these up. So we have a listen now. Just put it on this third one here. See how that sounds a bit different now? And we can stretch it out just a little bit more. We want it to be pretty stretchy. All right. Put that down to 1. Sounds pretty good to me. And we'll stretch out this middle one just a little bit too. So when you have like gunshot after gunshot after gunshot, kind of like this, it is a really good effect to have them like slowly stretch out one after another. So you can see this one's very like dull. So we'll drag that on. I'll turn this on to like 50. Nice. Now we'll just have a quick listen. We'll just close all of these and we'll listen to like the whole thing here. So I sort of just don't like the sound of these ones. I'm just going to put the bass and treble on all of them here. What you could do before you know, copy and paste them all, so you don't need to actually like drag it on like that, which I do usually do, but hey, it's early morning, man. Don't give me a hard time. Nice. We'll just quickly add some shots in here for these cinematics I quickly whipped up. I'm going to copy this one just so it sounds a little bit different. And if you double tap L, you can open the waveform to see it. But if you actually want to change the audio waves, then you got to open the whole fucking thing. It's pain in the ass, I know. Alright, we'll just drag this so it sort of matches a bit better. I'm going to turn this to 0 because the ones on the cinematic, I sort of like them to be a little bit more like subtle. Cool. And then we'll copy this onto that one. And then we'll open this bitch up. And we'll stretch this out just a little bit more. Maybe a wee bit more. Alright, and then, so that sounds pretty good to me. And for this guy dying here, there is this sound effect that I like to use. It's called head something 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 blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure it's ripped straight from one of the Call of Duties. I think it comes from Black Ops 2. I'm not actually sure. It's just that I'm not sure where it comes from. I know it's from one of the CODs though. It's a very familiar sound, but you've definitely heard this used in like quite a few edits before. So if we just drag this out a little bit, because I personally don't enjoy it, like the sound effect when it is just normal speed, and we'll just have a look. Nice, we'll turn up by 1. So you also usually want to like fade out sound effects. Lucky enough, these intervention shots, whoever made these has already faded them out for us, so we don't need to bother with that. Usually you just make keyframe on this audio level, like say like here, and then you just come over to like the end and then just turn it down like a bunch to like -40, -30, somewhere around there. And we'll do that there just so you can actually hear like the impact of the head. So now it's like whooshes and like bolts. So we'll start off with bolts first. So in the Discord, there is a bunch of like bolt sound effects, like sort of like general use ones, but then there are ones for like the actual gun for, you know, this COD or that COD, like intervention bolt or like fucking, I don't know, the M40A3 bolt. There are sound effects like separate for those, but then there are like the general ones like this one that you hear quite often, I would assume. It's a pretty nice sound effect, so we'll just use this one. So after he shoots here, we'll see his bolt come out. So we want it to be like pretty close to the shot, somewhere around here. And these bolt sound effects, I personally like to have them like decently quiet. So I'm gonna go like -1 here, I think. So that sounds pretty good. That'll do. And then in this middle part here, because it's slowed down so much, I did it on purpose so I could explain, you know, more stuff and things, you know. We'll work on that later, so we'll just keep copying these bolts across, these blister metal bolts, and I'm going to stretch this one out a little bit, and you'll see with these ones, when you stretch them out a little bit, they change sound, like, dramatically. And it starts to sound, like, pretty funky, pretty good. And then we'll stretch out this next one just a wee bit as well. Make sure it sort of matches the clip a little bit. So lots of people, when it comes to sound effects, they like really try to make it match the clip, which is good. But also you don't have to be too like crazy about it. You can get away with, you know, it not being like perfectly on the bolt. As long as it like sort of sounds good and like looks good with the clip, you're chilling. You're chilling. So that sounds pretty good. So we're coming to this middle bit here, and I actually have the intervention bolt shift 1 and 2. So number 1 is the pulling out of the bolt, and then the bolt 2 is the bolt going in. Nice, familiar sounds. Take me back, take me way back. Alright, so we'll drag these in for this long, slow bit that I've got here. So here we have intervention bolt 1, and you can see it's quite short and it's very, very quiet. So if I play this, you can sort of just hear it. It's kind of nice. I'm going to be doing something here later with high-low pass, so we'll keep it at that volume for now. But I just want to extend this out just a little bit here. And I can see his hand pulling back on the bolt right now, so somewhere here should be pretty good. Maybe we'll pull it away a little bit so it's a bit easier to hear and turn it up a tad. And I know that he puts the bolt in around this marker here, so I'm going to put my marker here, and then we will drop in the next sound effect, which is the bolt going in. And I'm just going to extend this out just a little bit, just get a little bit different kind of sound going. Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. We could also, you know, drag a bass and treble on this if we really wanted to. We can make it be like a little bit more bassy, something like that. Maybe we could do the treble instead. Nice, nice. Maybe we drag a bass and treble on this one too, up the treble. It sounds pretty good, sounds pretty good. And it's somewhat matches, you know, what's going on in the clip. Now for high-low pass, the easiest way I can describe it is like, it's kind of like that radio kind of sound effect. So if I type high, it'll come up with high-low pass, and in the effects panel, it's actually high-low pass. So if you're having trouble searching it up, that's why. And you get a little bit of options here. So wet out is how you get it to sound like this. So you can see it's quite, that does quiet the volume a bit, but it sounds sort of like staticky radio-y kind of. It's a pretty cool effect. So if you put wet onto 0 and dry onto 100, it'll sound pretty much normal. Well, it is normal. So I don't usually play with the cutoff frequency, but if you want to mess with that, you can. But I enjoy like the default kind of sound. So if we keyframe the dry out and wet out, we will keyframe those boys right here on this shot, and we'll go forward a bit and we'll just swap these values. So wet to 100 and dry to 0, and then we'll come to the shot and we will change. We'll go back like 2 frames here, and then we'll go dry 100, wet 0. Actually, we won't do that. We'll make these keep these keyframes the same, just create new keyframes, same value as these ones here. So wet 100, dry 0, and then we'll go 2 keyframes to the shot. And then we'll just change these to dry 100, wet 0. So it goes back to normal. So it'll go quiet, like this. That's a pretty cool sound effect. And if it's not quite quiet enough for you, you can just change the audio levels. We'll go like minus like 2 here. And we'll just go 2 keyframes back from the shot. And we'll make this, what was it, minus 3. That's what I did, right? Minus 3, minus 2. And we'll go back across. And we'll go back to 0. And now that we've done that, we can readjust the volume on these. I'll probably just change them back down to 0. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So that's something that's really good if you didn't know how to do that. It's used somewhat often, but I feel like that sort of style of things is dying out just a little bit. But if you've got a lot of sound effects going and you like just add, you know, the high-low pass, and you really like highlight those sound effects, but they got to sound like perfect when you're doing that. So we'll move on to whooshes. There are so many whooshes like out there in the world. Like if you join my Discord, you download that shit, you're gonna be like, damn, which one do I choose? There's so many here. Just go listen to all of them. Some of them do sound just slightly different when you add them in here and start like, you know, editing them, changing the time remapping and such. But one of my favorite ones is this Blade Storm Impact. It's quite bassy, and it has a bit of like almost like a headshot kind of sound in the middle of it. So if I put it there, I'll just turn it down like minus 2, and you'll see. It's yeah, it's pretty good. So we'll just solo this so you can just hear the whoosh. Just make sure it's in the correct spot. It's perfect. So we'll add one here, so it adds a bit of impact, like coming out of the you know, the high-low pass. And we'll put another one of these over here. Don't forget to double tap L to see the waveforms, so you know where you're putting it. Fucking cat's going crazy, man. Alright. So now we have this triple cinematic kind of thing here that goes by pretty fast. So you usually want like a bit more of a quicker kind of whoosh. So we'll just drag on like this quick, easy bass whoosh here. And we don't want it to stand out too much, but we definitely want it to be there. So we'll see what it likes. Let's see what it looks like at default. So it sounds pretty good. We'll just turn it down by like maybe 2 because we want it to be like a little bit more subtle. And we'll just go boom boom. And because the headshot sound that I had already originally put for this cinematic already has like a bit of a whoosh behind it, it's probably going to sound alright. So let's have a listen. Sounds pretty good to me, man. Should we have a quick watch, see what it's like, eh? So for me personally, the whoosh here doesn't really work because it comes in, the scope comes in so slowly. So if we just like focus on this part here, you'll see that the whoosh doesn't really match. So yeah, the build up from the whoosh doesn't really work so well because it's, you know, it's not like whoosh, like real quick. It's a bit of a slow build up. So I could put like maybe a different kind of whoosh there to sort of help with impact. But other than that, that's pretty much it for sound effect wise. That's pretty much all I do for most of my videos. Pretty simple stuff. If you get really into it, you can end up with, like, as you can see here, like quite a few layers of just sound effect. And it's pretty cool because if you turn off the you know, the music and you just listen to like the audio, it sounds really cool. I know you guys couldn't see that because my face was in the way, but you heard it. All right, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm sorry you didn't get to see that last little bit there of like just the SFX, but I'll put it on my Twitter if you really want to go watch it that bad. Sorry, man, my face in the way. Don't forget to join the Discord for all your editing needs and tools and cinematics and this and that. So it's all good stuff in there, man. Just join the Discord. Join the Discord. All right. See you guys next Friday, and maybe in my Discord if you actually join it. All right, peace.